Hi there, everybody. Welcome to our debut episode of our podcast, All Things Home Care. I'm your host, Dana Arnone, and I'm the owner of Reliance Home Senior Services. And I'm sitting here today with our first guest, Mildred Gallery, who is our Director of Community Relations for our company. And we're here on our first episode to kind of introduce ourselves and to talk about why we feel a podcast is important and why we feel so passionately about home care. So, Mildred, are you happy to be here?
I am very happy, and I am most happy and most excited to be able to have this conversation and to talk to people about how to keep their loved ones home safely.
Me too.
Yes. And we know the process is lengthy. We know that it's not very simple, and people get very frustrated. They lose hope. They lose money. And we're here to actually instruct them on how to stay home safely, how to go about getting the right services. And we want to help from beginning to end so that we make sure that people don't make a mistake and they get the right care they need.
Well, they're always going to make mistakes, though.
Well, we can help them make less
That's
mistakes.
True. So us, when we're starting this podcast, for me, I thought it was very important about a podcast because there's such misinformation out there in the community.
Absolutely.
People don't really know, they don't understand.
No.
So being a nurse like myself, I've been in healthcare a very long time. I've seen a lot of problems. I think things can be done a little bit better. Not saying that we have all the answers, but we do ask the questions, which is very important to me. So moving forward for the podcast, I'm hoping to have a variety of guests come on to talk about all different levels of healthcare, whether it be home care, nursing home, subacute, hospital, applying for community Medicaid. I also want to, for me, I feel very strongly about talking about the other side of home care.
Absolutely, home care.
The home care, the actual home.
Yes, and also the misconceptions about who does this job and why you should do this job. Like we come across people on a daily basis that really kind of look down on this job, becoming a home health aide. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to highlight the fact that taking care of somebody is an honorable job. It's a good job.
Sure.
It's a decent job.
We do it every day.
Absolutely. And so we want to change that misconception that people have to say, come on and join us care for the elderly. It's a great job. It's something that you should feel proud about, something that that is honorable, not something that is shameful. And there's taking care of your loved ones. There's also a great room of conversation because there's many different ways. You can come to a licensed agency like us, but with that we have Consumer Direct. There are many different avenues to have the conversation on home care. How you can choose your home health aide versus come on services, and we provide it. So maybe we can talk a little bit about that, the difference between CDPAP, Consumer Direct, and
Well, the thing for me is that I like to show all sides, the good and the bad, because there's a lot of bad just as well as there's a lot of good.
Absolutely.
I think that sometimes families need to see the perception of the agency so they understand where we're coming from as a company when we're trying to get those aides to that house, that there's limited things that we have control over, but the things that we can control, we try to control. I also want, I'd like to have home health aides come on and talk to us about their job and why the struggles that they feel.
Very important.
Very important. I feel like sometimes the families really heard from those home health aides and understand their home life, their transportation issues, all those things, their salaries.
Yes.
I think that they would have a little bit more of an understanding of why things happen the way they do.
Empathy.
Yes, very
There's
important.
that disconnect sometimes where each side is so involved in their own pain and frustration that perhaps they're not thinking of the other. So we're, in essence, for lack of a better word, trying to bridge this gap between patient and caretaker.
An agency.
And agency, all the in-betweens,
It's
all
like
the
a
variables.
triangle, yes. It's a trifecta, because we're all in it together, and the only way to have a successful
we want to be in
experience.
together.
Yes.
That's what you're creating here. A team that is. That's what we're. Everybody that works here for Alliance, we're all like-minded in the way that we see what Dana's vision is, and we add to it, and we try to work hard together to get this. To get this out to the public, because it isn't as difficult as people think it is. It's because of the misconceptions that people have that maybe that guides them away from home care and away from the application because perhaps they don't think they're eligible or they've spoken to the wrong people. They give them
Well, you're talking about community Medicaid right now. So when you're talking about certain things, people have to know what you're talking about.
Okay,
You're talking about applying for Medicaid.
Fair, yes.
So, which is
Let me
something.
back up a little bit then.
Yes, go back
okay,
up.
because
Okay.
we're I'm so
I don't want people to think that everything is free. That's
No,
all.
well, no, absolutely not free. We have private, but there is something that people don't realize. Community Medicaid, that this is something that they should be applying for if they don't have the finances, because it will be the payer source for them in their home. And there's a lot of people that don't know that, and that they don't know that they're even eligible. And then we have a lot of people that have enough assets to care for themselves in the way that they want. I don't know if that sounds right, because we do have the private pay. How do we separate and let's get that discussion.
Families often find themselves overwhelmed when their loved ones require help to function on a daily basis.
Good morning, Reliance Home Senior Services, where we bring great home care to your home. How may I direct your call?
We at Reliance Home Senior Services are a full-service geriatric agency specializing in home health care in the 5 boroughs and Nassau County. Our services include geriatric care, daily grooming and hygiene, monitoring diet and nutrition, accompanied walks, assistance in taking medications, and case management services. To have our licensed staff maintain quality of life and independent living for your loved one, call 516-308-4840 or visit www.reliancehssny.com. Reliance Home Senior Services. We bring great health care to your home.
Hi there. Welcome back to All Things Home Care. We're still here. Okay, so I felt like for the introduction of our podcast, which I think that is probably an unusual thing for people to see, people talking about the realities of home care and health care together. Let's talk about our business. Me, myself, registered nurse, almost 30. I'm going to take that back.
She looks young.
Maybe 5 years. No, 30-something years. I've been in healthcare a very long time. So for me, I've always had a passion for the elderly. I don't know why. I've always had a passion to do things the right way, or the way that I think it should be done. And in trying to create our company, I feel like we put together by far the best team I can ever imagine. So let's talk about you and Director of Community Relations. So what does that mean to you, and what does that mean to the listeners? Because I know what it means to me. And to me, to send you, there's no better person and no better job suited for you.
Oh, thank you.
Because you really are the person that goes out there and talks to people. You are a representative of us and an extension of my thoughts and my beliefs and how I see things. And it's very important to me to have people to have the same vision that I have. So for you, being the Director of Community Relations, what is the kind of job tell people what that job means?
Well, thank you very much, and I'm very humbled to hear you say that, and thank you. What I do for the company is that I go out and I recruit home health aides. I look for people that want to do this job. I go to schools to recruit people.
What kind of schools, though?
I go to home health aid schools to look for people that want to employ people, to give job opportunity for people in Nassau County and in the boroughs. I also am very passionate about home care as a whole, going out to build relationships in the community, local libraries, churches. We want to give information, and we want to bring, or at least I, for Reliance, want to bring this conversation to the people, to the public, this most important conversation about home care and how are we going to take care of our loved ones when they get home, and the process. So reaching out to people, going door to door, engaging and letting people know the plan and that we care.
One of the ways that you're out there talking to people, we came up with we say a genius concept. I'm not quite sure, but what okay, well, we'll see. Time will tell. We put carts and kiosks in local malls. So for us, we felt like going to the malls and to the people and where people are walking around, where they may not want to have that conversation over the phone. They may not know who to call, what to call. They may be Googling things, but there's limited information that you can get. So what better way to go and start that conversation, but in my mind, going to the malls. So these kiosks are under your umbrella of what you do for the business. You're in charge of the kiosks. We have 2 right now, opening up a 3rd, moving back into
Yes, we're in the Broadway Commons, and we're in Green Acres and Valley Stream. And you can visit us there 7 days a week from 12 to 8 on Monday through Saturday, and Sundays from 12 to 6. It's an information kiosk, and we are bringing, as Dana said, home care to the people. We're having this conversation with you at your local malls because we know it's not a comfortable conversation. Not everybody wants to have it, but it is the conversation that's necessary. So that is one of the most important reasons. We're there just to, if you have a question, come and ask us. Feel free. If you need...
Well, what kind of, let's go there. What kind of information are we giving out at the kiosks?
Well, we're informing people of the services that we provide. If your loved one wants to stay home, you can come and ask us any question. You can come and apply with us
as a home health aide.
As a home health aide, or you can come to the kiosk and talk about services. Your mother, your grandmother, a friend, or this neighbor that's next door that you haven't seen or you're concerned about. You can give them our information. They can call us. We can start this conversation, and we can let you know how and what you need to do in order to stay home and to stay home safely.
So at the kiosks, so if someone is interested in a position with us, they can go talk to us at the kiosk.
Yes, please come to the kiosk.
What kind of positions are we looking for?
We are looking for home health aides. We're looking for RNs. If you're a social worker, we're looking for basically people that want to join the home care, people that want to take care of the elderly. We're looking from the beginning step all the way to I don't want to say the end step because that sounds bad.
No, just say,
from beginning to end, basically. Our main and my main goal is to create a better perception of home care, home health aides. I want this to be a job where people are proud to say that they're a home health aide. I'm so tired of that stigma, oh, well, I don't want to do that. What, you don't want to care for people, but you'd rather hang up clothing? People, we're losing that sense of caring, and that's my concern, and that's my passion, is to find people that want to take care of the elderly, that want to take care of them the way that they would their own.
Okay, so let me ask you, so I'm interested in becoming a home health aide. I'm not, but
great.
Okay.
I have a school for you.
Okay. I'm going to go and I see you at the mall. Who am I going to go? I see what? What do I see? I see a stand. I see a person. I see, what do I see?
Yes, you'll see someone there, and you can start the conversation with them. Anyone that is at the kiosk can help you. They can take your information. They can guide you to what you need to do.
But most importantly, they're going to gather your information so someone from our office is going to call you back.
Absolutely.
So the kiosk, for me, that's what I'm getting at. For me, it's really the first step. It's not the final step. It's the first step to come have that conversation, see where you're at, see what your thoughts are, see what your wants or needs are, and then someone from Reliance, the internal staff, is going to reach out to them.
Yes.
Okay. So they can go to Broadway in Hicksville. They can go to Green Acres in Valley Stream.
Yes.
We're going to be opening up in Massapequa Sunrise. Very excited about that.
Very excited.
So what else is that? So you go into the local churches to talk to the pastors and the people of the church. Hopefully there's...
Yes, for the same goals, for the same reason, because we're bringing home care. We're trying to bring it everywhere. Places that are comfortable and places that are uncomfortable, because just as you said, there are good and bad. So we know that the good, you don't want to change the good, but the bad is what we want to target, the negative comments, the negative misconceptions. We want to kind of try to change that.
Families often find themselves overwhelmed when their loved ones require help to function on a daily basis.
Good morning, Reliance Home Senior Services, where we bring great home care to your home. How may I direct your call?
We at Reliance Home Senior Services are a full-service geriatric agency specializing in home health care in the 5 boroughs and Nassau County. Our services include geriatric care, daily grooming and hygiene, monitoring diet and nutrition, accompanied walks, assistance in taking medications, and case management services. To have our licensed staff maintain quality of life and independent living for your loved one, call 516-308-4840 or visit www.reliancehssny.com. Reliance Home Senior Services. We bring great health care to your home.
Okay, so back to the churches. So our focus going to the churches was what? Like, why do we think the churches are a good place to talk to people?
Well, because what we're hoping for is to be able to offer job opportunity, offer a work program for people that want to join this agency and that want to take care of people. So we're reaching out because we want people to go to school, the right people to
So we're
do
hoping
this job.
people at the church is going to have some moral compass, that they're going to have
that is
some,
what we're
some
looking for.
humanity.
Yes, because I find in the schools that, yes, there are good, kind, caring people, but then you have people that don't seem so kind and caring. So if we can go into the places or visit people where they are and meet them where they are and say, hey, we have a job opportunity. We have a wonderful job opportunity for you. So we're going into the churches and into the community centers to have that conversation, to offer people jobs, to become a home health aide, to go to school, and to provide services.
Or if they right, if they need care, if they have to have it. So what your goal is always when you're going to a church is to speak to whoever the head of the area is,
Outreach programs,
and talk to them about setting up a workshop or setting up
because
some
we want this job to be for everyone, not just for a certain demographic. So if you're a woman that's been home for 15 years taking care of your children and now you want to get back into the workforce, this might be something that you want to do.
Well, that's going to be a whole other episode,
Okay.
so let's not go there.
All right. But also,
I see that as a whole episode, Mildred.
So we're basically going to give hope to people, to give them training, to provide jobs for people.
Okay, and we also thought about going to the high schools. So
Yes.
for those students that may not have
Get the younger ones
direction yet.
caring young.
Yes, okay. And then we also try to get to the libraries.
Absolutely.
We find the libraries are good information sources for people. If they have a question, sometimes they'll go to their local library. I don't know if young kids go to libraries anymore.
No,
I
they
don't
do.
know.
They
I still
actually
like
do. The
library.
libraries have many different programs.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to get our own programs in the library so people can have other outlets to come to, not just the kiosks. We want to be able to be everywhere. You
Right.
know, Reliance wants to answer your questions about home care. Reliance, we want you to come and work with us. We want to provide home care that's safe, reliable, and we need people that care. So if you're a caring person that wants to do this work, please join us. Come talk to us at the kiosk. Come to Broadway. Come to Green Acres. We have an office in Massapequa. We have an office in Fresh Meadows. We're spreading out people, and we're trying our best. So we need you to help us create a change.
Yes, I think that if people get to know us and know that we're not your typical home care company,
Yes.
we're not your typical licensed agency.
Nope.
We do many things here. So just to give a list of things that we do is other than providing.
We're doing this. I mean, we're doing
Well, we're
this.
doing the podcast. This is
Yeah.
a big thing. But no, I mean the services that we provide. So currently we provide in-home care. We are able to provide care in a nursing home. So if your loved one is in a hospital, nursing home, and you don't want them to be alone, they're lonely, they're scared, we can do that as well. We provide companion services. We also provide case
And
management.
maybe you want to talk a little bit about the difference between companion and versus HHA.
That's a whole other episode.
Okay, but you're going to confuse the people. Okay.
No, I'm just breaking it
Okay.
down. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the services that Reliance Home Senior Services provide. We provide in-home care. Right? We provide home health aides, which are licensed, certified people. They are background checked. They are drug
Fingerprinted.
screened. They are put through the ringer. If they pass our test, they're good to go. So we provide in-home care, whether it be private pay or on Medicaid. So if someone comes to me or you or whoever at the kiosk and says, hey, my dad just got Medicaid, we have a whole department of helping them enroll in the managed long-term care. So that's Danielle. And Danielle is the manager of intake and enrollment. And
You'll all meet Danielle soon.
Yes, and she is by far the kindest person, hand-holding.
Absolutely.
She will walk the families through the process when they're at their most desperate for care.
And most vulnerable.
That's Danielle.
Because we know.
It's hard.
Because
It's very hard.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's your loved one is in a vulnerable position, and so are you. So Danielle absolutely does hands down a great job at enrollment
Yes.
and making the
Gathering
process,
that information,
making
too.
the process easier for the families.
Yeah. Well, her goal is really to gather the information as well so that we know what's going on in the house with the patient, what the patient's needs are. Believe it or not, a cat, a dog, the front door, back door, whatever. Danielle's going to get all that information. So when we're sending someone to the home, they have a very good baseline understanding of what's happening there. So that's Danielle in a nutshell. Then we do Medicaid applications here, which is a big thing that we do. It is big. We educate people on the Medicaid process. We're educating people on, their asset protections. We are not lawyers, so let me disclaim that right now. But we do Medicaid applications for families. We do charge a fee, however, if we go off a sliding scale. So we believe in helping everyone.
Very fair.
It is very fair. Well, we are a fair company.
Yes, that's the truth. That's where we're trying to be different, or where we know we're different is because, of course, businesses, you have to make money, you want to pay payroll, but we also know
We have to pay for this podcast.
Yes, but we also know at the end of the day, it all comes down to the best quality of care and how do you go about it. And you have created, I believe, a team that knows how to go about this, and that's why this podcast is so important, because we're going to let people know about it. We're going to hoot and holler and let everybody know that this is worthy of change, and this is worthy of conversation, and this is all information that they should be talking about. Everybody should be talking about this.
Right. So a family calls up and they say, my mom is in need of care. We're going to educate them on their options. One option is private pay, and one option is Medicaid. So on the Medicaid side, they can talk to Nick or they can talk to Fran. Both are very educated on the Medicaid process and how to do the application. Or if need be, and if you want to do it for yourself, we can furnish you with information so that you can file on behalf of your loved one. So that's a big thing. Then we do a lot of social work and nursing visits here. So that's Taryn. And Taryn right now is, scheduling social work visits for the managed care. She's setting up all the nursing visits for all the patients coming onto service with us. She's very busy, very, very busy.
And this is before they go home and when they get home?
Mostly when they're home. So that she's scheduling all of the nursing, the professionals to go out there. So every patient coming onto service with us is going to be seen by a registered nurse. They're going to have a tailored care plan set up for their loved one.
Yes.
Specific to the needs of that person. So if mom, needs is a diabetic, if mom has some bleeding precautions, whatever the case may be, we're going to take a full assessment of that patient and the needs of the patient from an RN perspective. And that's going to be left to the care plan is left in the home for the aide to follow. So it's something that, the family should know that they're going to have a detailed care plan specific to their patient, their loved one's
And the
needs.
family can also be comforted in knowing that you provide another service once people are on services, that you have a supervisor going out to the homes as well, just to make sure that everything is followed through and followed up.
And they're wearing their uniform and their ID badge.
Yes.
Very important. I believe completely. You should know who's coming to your home, and they should always be having an ID badge on so you know that person's name.
So even when other companies might be out because the home health aide is already in the home, and we don't leave the scene. We stay because we want to make sure that everything stays the same. And any changes that happen and occur with the patients, this is something that we also...
It's reported back here. Okay, and another service which is probably the most compelling, difficult jobs that we have is our coordinators. So we have a few
work
coordinators.
very hard.
They work tirelessly.
Yes.
How do you say that word? Tirelessly?
Yes.
For the care and safety of the
Yes.
patient. So the coordinator job is to schedule and make sure that the aides show up. We have a very high-tech system that allows us to see when they're in the home, they're not in the home, when they're late, they're early, whatever the case may be. But the coordinator's sole job is to make sure that there is a caretaker in that home suitable for the patient, which is very important. Not just putting a body there, but they're suitable to care for that loved one. For that patient.
Yes, for that level of care.
So that's us as a company at this moment in time. If you have any questions, please visit us at RelianceHSSNY.com. You can email us through that website, or you can call us at
516-308-4840.
I would suggest that you dial either myself, my extension is 203. You can get me if I'm not here. You can dial 0 for operator. Anybody in the office can answer your questions, but if you want a specific person, you probably can ask for Julia or Mildred, who's not here too much. But
We look forward to your calls.
yes, please call us.
Please call.
Like and share our podcast
Yes,
so that we can
absolutely.
stay and keep going. Let us know that you like what we're talking about. All things home care.
All things home care. And tune in next week, please.
Please.
Tell your friends.
Yes. Tell your husbands and your mothers and your dads.
Tell everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.